For every famous hatch, legendary river, or renowned migration, there are countless others that go virtually unnoticed. So when we set out to film more than a year ago, we decided to find places, people, and fish outside the norm. Our journey started out west, chasing hatches and trout across Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. Moving north, we visited BC and Southwest Alaska. Made a special stop in the Midwest, and finally ended our journey on the remote flats in Mexico. On behalf of our crew, we're proud to present a special cut created solely for the Fly Fishing Film Tour. Our new film, Off the Grid. Brett McCrae and Jim Lamprose are living the early 20s fish bum dream. They live just minutes from their favorite water, they're both employed in the fly fishing industry, and they have the perfect bachelor pad, ideally located directly above an Irish pub. And they live life to the fullest, every day and every night. But no matter how much fun occurs after dark, the daylight hours are devoted to one thing. Fishing guide, Brett McCrae.
I'm 21 years old. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, fishing a lot of the rivers we have around here for steelhead. I first started with really no idea what I was doing, no idea how to fish or how to, God forbid, to catch one of these things. And over the past 8-10 years, I've gotten hooked, and now here I am, a while later, guiding this fishery. So it's been really interesting to go full circle on this, from somebody who knew absolutely nothing, sort of beginning to get to know something about this fishery and seeing that transition happen.
Grew up on the east side of Cleveland, and like a lot of people, fished since I was a really little kid, and it wasn't all that long ago actually that I started fly fishing. And started doing it on this fishery and these rivers, and got the bug. It's days like this where you're out in the snowstorm and maybe you hook a couple fish, maybe you don't, but those are the kind of things that drive you to stick with the sport.
I think our streams get a bad rap sometimes for being crowded, but I don't think a lot of people realize is that there's just as many days like this where there's nobody out on the water. as there are on days where other folks are out here enjoying it as well. But days like today are definitely special.
Yeah, it's kind of a how bad do you want it thing, and it's the guys you see out on days like this that are usually the ones who are passionate about the sport and about the fishery, and these are their favorite days. These are our favorite days.
These fish, they really range in what they look like. These chrome fish are just two colors. They're either navy blue down their back and silver everywhere else, or they're, sometimes they've got a dark olive back and again, silver everywhere else. And then as they're in the river longer, they take on more of the colors you'd associate with a stream resident rainbow trout. And the hens, especially, towards the wintertime, they keep that silver coloration towards their bellies, but they get a nice pink stripe down their side, and sometimes that stripe will even turn purple and kind of melt into a bronze back, which is just absolutely gorgeous.
Since the introduction of steelhead into Lake Erie, anglers have continued to debate whether these fish are actually steelhead, or if they're simply a big lake-run rainbow. But whatever you want to call them, no one can deny that these fish are strong, healthy, and fortunately, plentiful.
I'm a fishing manager for the Orvis Company store in Cleveland. There's days where, you wish you were on the water, and at the same time, one of the things I get to do on a day-to-day basis is tell people about this fishery and how cool it is and how easy it is to access it. When you see other people that start from scratch like I did not that long ago and get the bug like I got, that's rewarding. And those people want to stick with the sport, and they become stewards of the river and of the fishery, and that's what we need. So I can kind of, in some ways, take pride in my position, even though it means I'm not always on the water. And having a roommate that's a guide for me is fun, just because I get to hear fish stories and get to hear what the fishing was like on a given day. And sometimes it hurts, but a lot of times it just gets you excited for the next opportunity to get out there.
Jim and I met when we were both working at a fly shop that was actually right on the banks of a local steelhead river. We were both in high school, and we were both kind of really starting to get excited about this fishery and getting serious about it. And it was perfect because we were both learning new water a lot. We were both learning new techniques. We were both learning different stretches of different rivers and everything else. And really, I think that because we were both in a similar position there, that's the reason why we became close buddies and close friends. This is what we do for fun. It's the reason why we're such good friends, and it'll probably be that way for a long time.
We're pretty young guys, Brett being 21 and myself 23, and having met when we were even younger than that. These days, there aren't a whole lot of people our age that come from the backgrounds that we come from, mainly suburban, that enjoy being outside in weather like this, or doing things outdoors, whether it's backpacking or rafting or fly fishing. And so finding, becoming buddies at a young age where I think we both recognized in each other that this was something we were passionate about, has kept us close. And a lot of the guys that we hang out with and become friends with in the sport over the years are significantly older than us, but they share that passion, and that's something that brings people together, I think, in the fly fishing community. So anytime you recognize that in somebody else, you're probably destined to have some things in common with them.